both ways, everybody, but all right. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Hope everybody's doing good, staying along. Hope you can hear me just fine over my loud truck and my mud tires. But today we're gonna go look at a truck. We may be pulling the engine and rebuilding it to sell it, and then sell the truck, or sell the truck as a whole, depending on the state of the engine. But got the engine hoist back there, got all my tools rattling in the back. They mainly rattle because my tires are like triangles, but we're gonna go try and see if we can pull this engine today. It is in the shell rock, so it might be a little bit hard to pull the engine, but I think I can manage it. I have faith, and where there's a will, there's a way, and I'm right here, so here we go. All right, so here's the old truck. Got something cool right there. Dually conversion. This little cover right here, and then some custom boxing done, as you can see over there, for the dually tires to clear, because none of these trucks came dually apparently. Inside's pretty decent, nothing too crazy. Got a little bit of rust. Jerk rails are good, and I think, yeah, cab corners, obviously the door, but for the most part the cab isn't too terribly bad. So we're gonna see if this engine can turn over, and if it does, I'm gonna try to get this baby ripped out today, and we will go from there. I believe it's a big block, don't really know, never messed with old stuff like this, but we'll see what we can do today. And one cool thing about this truck that I've never seen before is the dang bedside opens for the spare tire. Pretty wild. And it just has these little levers that can balance this. And then just slide it. And you're good to go. And you're back to a regular old bedside. Okay, so step one, see if it can even turn over. And it does. Feels pretty good, so we shall carry on. And then just like that, we got the engine out. Got all the coolant drained, or most of it drained, that's why it's still dripping. And AC lines chilling, cruise control, thing hit the firewall, not a big deal. This got a little bent, nothing too crazy. Yeah, that wasn't bad at all. Got the top bell housing bolts with wrenches, or with a wrench, and then went down low with the impact and the ratchet and got the rest. The engine mounting plates, I pulled the bolts that run down and diagonal, but I really only needed to get the one to go down, because the one that goes diagonal holds this rubber. Sits just like this, and then this could have stayed with the engine, but then when I raised it up, I had to fight the engine back and forth to get this piece out. But we got that out, and now I have to try to push this thing backwards, because as you know, these things don't roll in the dirt, but they will lift in the dirt. So now I'm gonna move some stuff, roll this thing back, put the hood on it, and then potentially figure out what to do with this engine. Whether it's put it down and grab the tractor or what we gotta do, but we got it out of there. Very nice. And now that we got the first project done of pulling that engine so we could part the truck out and maybe rebuild the engine, we're gonna be working on the rat rod again. So we have oil cooler for the engine. We got some oil cooler adapter fittings, and then we have the oil cooler for the transmission. Got our adapters for that to go into the transmission, and we have some fittings on here that will allow us to thread this on there, and then this gives us our 6AN, I believe, that'll match that. So yeah, we'll mount these to the front and make it look all good. We have an intake to go on there. We have heater hose. Still got to get some 90s for that to make it look all good. But today we're going to run the lines up for the transmission cooler and the engine cooler and try to get the intake on here and see what we can accomplish today. Alright, so we got our fittings put in there. Came with little O-rings, and then we're going to get some fittings and then run it along. And then my plan was to run it along and come through here alongside the frame so it looks all clean. It can be uniform on the other side. Maybe keep it a little low on here just so we're away from the exhaust by a mile. A little close to the turbo, but it'll be down here. Then it can loop around and then go into the cooler right there. Alright, so we got our AN fittings on there. I got clearance going down. So you can see, clears the dipstick. It's gonna look good. And then we double check with the customer. He said that this will look good, or he's okay with this. I think it looks pretty good. I'm gonna raise this up just a little bit whenever they get mounted and then make a support that goes across. But that way it's like a mirror image of each other. And like I said, this fitting right here is gonna come down and then sweep with this one, and then they'll run alongside the frame. And then these are the adapters that cut it down. So that way we could have the exact same size cooler and then the right size lines for the application. And that'll work good. And in coolers like this, you want the end to go on the bottom so that way the oil fills up and pushes all the air out and then goes out the top. Because if you have it going from the top, then the water could just fall, or the water coolant, whatever you're doing, could just fall to the bottom, and then you don't have good cooling per se until it gets filled up all the way, if it had a chance to, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm gonna start cutting line and we'll get this one wrapped up in no time, and then we'll work on this one and get rid of this big old no good for nothing piece of junk. And just like that, we have the lines made. Got the little clamps on there. Got everything all tight. It's looking good. Probably gonna buy some more of those clamp things, put one right here. And then we still have to make our tabs for this. But got the transmission cooler done. Now we're gonna go to the engine oil cooler. Okay, so here we are on the driver's side. We have these lines we're gonna be removing. And I think that there's a bracket down there off the oil pan that holds those lines. Gonna have to disassemble that and then take out these adapter fittings. And then we are going to replace them with our new adapter fittings. So let me get all this stuff out of here and we will continue on. Alright, so we got that bracket out of the way, got the hoses out of here, got the old cooler out, and got our fittings from Ben's Force on there with some new copper washers on there. And now we're going to see what fittings is going to work best on here. I know in the past I've always had issues right here being real close to the injection pump, so gonna get a fitting thrown on here, see which one's best, and then same with this one. And then for this one, I don't want any, let's see, like torque of the engine to ever want to pull on the lines, so we gotta keep that in mind whenever we're running the lines. You don't want it to like pull, and then if the fitting came like this way when the engine went this way, then it could, I guess I'd be tightening the line. So if you were hard torquing and then you let off and then it moved a little bit down, it could potentially pick up on the line and loosen it. So you always want to keep that in mind, that you more or less want it to come more straight to begin with off the engine. So yeah, here we go. And then we got the same fittings right there, or the same mirror image of the cooler on the other side. So let's keep on rocking and rolling. And we got our new primer pump from Ben's Force on there as well. Thing's very nice. It was a original Phoebe from Germany part with the new fuel filter on there as well. And this is what I came up with. The 245s on this one work really good. Plenty of clearance in there, so you don't have to worry about that. I think the issue I had before was those very cheap like red and blue fittings. These had a bigger head on them, so I had to like shave some of this fitting to make it work on the other ones in the past. But 45s definitely keep it away from there. Then that'll run at a nice angle, so we don't really have to worry about the torque loosening the fittings. So they're gonna run down here on the frame, run along, and then one will go in here, and then the other one will just slowly go up to there. Yeah, slowly up to there. And we'll put some clamps on that side, and then we'll be all set. As far as the cooling goes, we still gotta do all the wiring and all that fun stuff and everything else that comes with this swap. And just like that, we got our lines made, looking good. Then we're gonna run on top of each other on the frame with some clamps. Once I get those, I'm just gonna run right up. And then the front view, obviously I'm going to raise them a little bit, but that looks really good in my opinion. You can see them running parallel on the frame over there. The same over there. So that's gonna definitely keep this thing cool as far as the engine and transmission. And yeah, slowly but surely. So we got the engine pulled, and then we came, already rusty from just sitting, but we got them broke in, got new rotors, new pads, all the way around on the rig. And now we have another project. So we got the engine pulled, brakes done, rat rod, and now the fourth is this Mustang. Let's see. This came to us before for the same problem. And it's here again. Nothing I'm doing wrong, but I can already spot why it is the way it is. I'm parking under trees. It clogs up the AC drain. It's kind of silly the way this thing's engineered. But basically all this stuff gets in here, gets sucked down, clogs up the AC drain, and then all the water backs up. And then does this, just disgusting. Yeah. So, that thing's literally very nasty. Let's get this baby cleaned out. So we're gonna start off pulling these little plugs, getting this panel out of here, and then that'll give us access to getting this baby cleaned out. I'll have to use two hands. See if I can prop this rig up. Very nice. Okay, we got those two out, and then now this thing snaps up and pulls back, and comes out. And then, yeah, just what I suspected. So, filters right here. Very no good. Very no good. And that was super brittle, so we're gonna have to replace that for the wiper squirters. But down in here, it's full of leaves. And then the drain is somewhere down in there. It's been a while since I did this, but that's some hot steam. Let me grab this rubber before it drops and melts to oblivion. Okay, so the drain comes out right here. And the drain is supposed to drip, but the drain can't drip if it's full of leaves. So we're gonna get the water hose, clean all this stuff out real good, and tell the customer they need a new filter again, because it's very nasty. Here's most of the leaves we got out. Here's the rest of them. We'll get the water hose, get that all cleaned out, mention this to them, put this back where it belongs, and the customer will be good to go. After we fix that, of course, too. But very nice. And this is the inside of the drain. So I'm gonna get this cleaned out, and there is one on the driver's side as well. So get this all good. Put these things back in. We'll grab a new filter for the parts to close this, and we'll be done working for today. So here's the one for the driver's side, passenger side. That one came a little cleaner. We got this cleaned off because it had a bunch of leaves, and this little area that was trapped. Go ahead and snap these back in. So swap hands. This goes right down here. And if I can manage to get it snapped in, yep, all good. Get these leaves off the AC line. Very nice. And we got this all rinsed out. Got one little leaf, maybe two, maybe three. Get this stuff out of here. Two more in the corner. Get all these leaves cleaned out. All good. Get this one snapped in. And this drain comes out right under this main harness right here. So we'll just snap this through. There we go. So it's draining good. And you can always come in, like, give a little squish like this to clear, but this one had way too many leaves on the inside. Way too many leaves. So like I said, we're gonna go get that new filter, get a piece for this that I broke by accident, and yeah, get that addressed, and I'll be back on the road. And now we're off to go buy the cabin air filter, and we just gave a quote on another job. That one's going to be front brakes, pads and rotors, and my oil change, and 4 spark plugs on a newer Chevy Equinox. So you can definitely stay busy. Just got to get the word out there that you're doing it, and do good work, and good will come. So we got our new filter, a little scrub thing to try to clean up the carpet some, and got to get that diabetes Said they don't have any regular glaze donuts, so they just gave me a box crammed full. But I even closed the lid, already ate a few little munchkins, so can't be that. So out with the old nasty, in with the new. Grab this baby and turn on the light. And you bring this bad Larry over here. And it has little tabs on the bottom, little legs. And those are going to fall into where they need to go, just like that. And then that snaps in, secure. And then now we'll grab our little hose for this. Right here. Probably gonna have to trim this down a little bit, but that's gonna go just like that. Just some old scrap. Let me trim this down because this stuff is really tight. I don't want to be fighting it for no reason. Alright, so we got our hose trimmed down. Gonna go ahead and put my phone down, slap this on there, and then we'll get the cowling back on. And then we will clean this and then go to the carpet. Alright, we used some silicone spray, got that one in really far, got this one in about a ½ inch, about 3/4 inch on that one. So that's good, not gonna go anywhere. Gonna take this off, clean that real good. Like I said, put the cowling back on and then clean the carpets. And just like that, got everything rinsed off, got this cleaned way more better. Fat old mosquito. Went ahead and treated this one too. Wasn't too bad, but got that all clean. Got everything all rinsed off, got all the leaves that was around in here. Still one more right there. But got the cowling back on. Get these babies back in. If I even point the phone to it. Now I'm on the struggle bus. All good. All snapped in. Very nice. And like I said, we got that side cleaned out, got this side cleaned out, got the cover cleaned off, got this clean, treated. Got everything rinsed off, got all this washed with some water, just in case any of the battery acid was to get on there. And now we're gonna move to the carpets. Definitely taking that out. Let's go get this cleaner that we got. All right, so we got that all done. Now we're going to use this. Oh. Now we're going to use this Turtle Wax Upholstery Cleaner Protector Odorex Fabric Stain Barrier, oxy powered, and try to get all this stuff looking good. And then they should be good to carry on their way. I'm going to pop this panel off because that looks pretty nasty, and I like to get all this the best I can. So let's get this stuff removed. Like that. Got those clips off. They have little metal tabs that slide onto here. There's one right there, and there's probably one somewhere else. And it has a little tab that goes in there. I think that's it. And then it's got chapstick cover, a chapstick, and a pin, because you got to keep that thing on you. Put this in here. Or to be forgotten about. Let's see how good this stuff works. Vacuum, then shake, spray evenly, rub with fiber bristle. Roger that. All right, feeling good. So I'm gonna set this phone down, get to scrubbing, then I'll get to vacuuming, and then we'll keep on going. About 30 minutes later of scrubbing, we got most of the stains out. You can still see some. The back there is pretty good. Along in there was a little crunchy, but definitely a lot better. So got the panels snapped back in. Got everything looking good. Got those back in. Just need to clean the little mat, clean up our mess, and then I think we're gonna call it a night. And just like that, we got this baby all clean. I'm gonna throw it in the car, go take a shower. Appreciate the support so far, and hope this helped you decide if you would like to be a mobile technician, even on a slow day.